Plaintiff Jeffrey Banks says when he and the defendant first started dating, they were both addicts, and during the relationship, they had 2 daughters. Jeffrey admits that he was abusive to the defendant, and after he went to prison for the abuse, he got sober, took parenting classes, and cleaned up his act. And he's been sober for over 15 years. Jeffrey's suing for child support and a loan. Defendant Sylvia Ridgway admits that she was addicted to alcohol when she first got together with Jeffrey and says the relationship was mentally and physically abusive. Sylvia admits that she may owe for the child support, but insists the money from Jeffrey was a gift.
Prove your case.
Sir, first of all, I want to say that growing up as a child, I thought this was going to be my wife forever. I mean, I seen her as a kid, and I say, that's the one for me.
How old?
Probably I was about maybe 12. 11.
At 12, boys think every woman is the one for them. Go ahead.
I really thought that was the one. So where I moved away and came back in 1989, and I met the defendant again. At this time, I hate to say, but it's the truth, we were both in active addiction. And
what type?
I was using heroin and she was using alcohol.
In 89?
In 89, sir.
You old school, huh?
I'm old school, sir.
They was smoking crack by 89.
No, so
everybody else was smoking crack. You still back on heroin.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So we had 2 daughters, one in 92 and one in 94.
While you all were addicted?
We had 2 daughters, and we were still using. But for some strange reason, in 95, I decided, and there was a lot of abuse going on in that relationship, both ways. I accept my part because then I come up in a family where you didn't know about domestic violence at that time. Like it's old school. I used to see my father jump on my mother, and I thought that was normal for a lot of years. It wasn't really until 1995 through the OJ syndrome that I realized that things were a lot different. So I decided to change my life for myself and my children. I wanted my children. I didn't want them to grow up because God kind of blessed me with 2 daughters, and I don't want any man jumping on my daughters. So I needed to change my life. So during that time, I did catch a domestic violence charge. I had 6 months clean in 95. For the record, I've been clean for 15 years and 5 months.
Good. And that's the heroin is the hardest addiction to break because it's physically addictive as well. You go through severe withdrawal.
Yes, sir, I did.
As you do alcohol, I'm not sure which one is worse. Go ahead.
Well, that was my area of study. Alcohol will kill you. Heroin, you will wish you were dead.
Go ahead.
So in 1995, I had 6 months clean. I went to prison for domestic violence. During that time, I said I was going to change my life and do something different. So while in prison, I did parenting classes, I did domestic violence class, and I need to say I wasn't mandated to do this. This is something that I wanted to do to better myself. So I come out, and I also got me a jailhouse lawyer.
Okay.
The reason I got the jailhouse lawyer because I wanted to fight for custody of my kids once I got out, and I wanted to go to court right then.
Good.
So I got out in 1998, and I had a court date. I'm a veteran, so I wanted to go to the VA hospital. Even though I had 3 years clean at that time, I wanted to go into treatment again to make sure that I was okay. And so I went into treatment, got out of treatment. I went to the University of Cincinnati in 1999.
Okay.
I got my children in the year 2000, and child support was established at that time. I received my bachelor's degree.
Child support for her to pay?
Pay.
Where had the children been?
Okay, they were with her sister.
Because of her alcoholism?
She was using, and I went to prison.
Where were they in 95?
They were with the sister.
Me and my sister.
With the sister.
Right.
All right. And then at some point you won custody during the dispute?
Right. There's a
and child support?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's what you're suing about, child support. I'll get back to you shortly.
Yes, sir.
Let me allow her to give some background, ma'am.
Basically what he's saying is true. We both were addicted, had addictions, used a lot of alcohol. Our relationship was very abusive, physically and mentally.
That abuse may have had something to do with your alcoholism, I suspect, as well. Someone getting physically and emotionally abused in some cases will start trying to drink that problem away. Yes, sir.
I must say, she was kind of abusive too, because I remember a time I was...
Sir. Was she alcoholic before this alleged abuse?
Yes, sir.
All right. Were you?
I like to drink.
All right, we're going to get to the child support.
Right, in 2000, year 2000, I was awarded my children, and at that time...
Custody and child
Custody
support.
was awarded in June of 2000.
She was still addicted to alcohol at that time.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And I was awarded child support. The payments were just $51 a month. And as time went on, I see that things weren't going good for her, so I went back to court in 2004 and said, hey, I'm doing okay, I'm making decent money, let's just stop the child support.
Okay.
You know, so they stopped it, but they said, hey, we're gonna make her give the rearage.
Okay.
So that's what I'm fighting for now, just the rearage.
All right, you have the actual rearage?
Yes, sir.
Printed out?
Yes, sir.
All right, and before the loan, let me ask her about the child support, ma'am.
Yeah, I paid the child support when I could.
Okay.
I was working through a temp service. When I lost my job, I could no longer pay it, but I've always been in my children's life. I've always tried to help when I could.
Have you been able to overcome your alcoholism?
Yes.
She's doing a lot better, yes, sir.
Good. So basically you're saying you just haven't been able to afford it because you haven't had steady employment.
Yes.
All right. Are you proud of what he's done?
Yes.
Turning his life around, and he's done a pretty good job since that time with the children?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Glad to hear that you are at least grateful for him being able to hold up his end and to a certain extent your end with the children and to turn his life around. And I'm glad you share your story. You know why? Because a lot of guys in your position, they keep it secret. And to me, that's a disservice to others, because if you're able to overcome such a destructive life and severe addiction as heroin and become the man that you are today, people need to know about that, because all the other heroin addicts and all the other men living destructive lives need to know and have hope and inspiration that they'll do the same thing.
Yes, sir.
I got buddies who have overcome that type of situation. I don't want to front my man off, but he's a highly educated man and kind of keeps it a secret what he went through. And it bothers me because I'm like, man, if people know your story, my story pales in the face of yours, with the exception of me being a television personality and that the whatever success goes along with that. He is more of a story of inspiration, and I tell mine frequently so that I can inspire other young men to turn their lives around. People say, why you been talking about that? You've been talking about that for 12 years, ever since you've been on television. Well, I'm going to keep talking about it because it helps your son. Yeah, that's what I'm going to keep talking about.
There's always a new listener.
Yeah, right. There you go. That's a good point, Doyle. It's always a new listener. And until everyone has heard about it and every kid has tried to change their life who is troubled, I'm going to keep talking about it. So I applaud you for doing the same thing. Hopefully, guys who have been incarcerated, who were on heroin or addicted to whatever, crack, and they lost their children, hopefully they can do the same, turn their lives around. We haven't talked about the loan. How much of a loan did you make?
That was $1,200.
Did you borrow $1,200 from me?
No, he gave me $1,200.
All right. What is this you're handing me?
That's a promissory note contract.
Did you sign anything, Sandy?
I don't remember that.
Okay. You don't remember. All right. And you have your ID today? Let me take a look at it. I can compare these signatures and perhaps provoke memory. No, man. Sir, the signature is totally different. You look at it. You're an upstanding guy. I believe you're trying to do the right thing, and I believe you've been doing the right thing. And I really don't think you would perpetrate a fraud against me.
No, I wouldn't, sir. She might want to sign that again because she signed that, yes, sir.
All right, let's get your signature, ma'am.
Please sign.
Just sign your name. Quick as you can. All right, let's see it. Yep. This one you gave just now is the one that matches this. So you gave a different way on your driver's license, but the one I have on this agreement is the same signature that you just gave. So I'm going to hold you accountable for that as well. $3,934. Congratulations. Keep up the good work, and you keep fighting as best you can. All right? All right.
Thank
Good
you,
luck.
sir. To say I still love her, and you know, I don't know why she tried to perpetrate a fraud about that paperwork, but I still love her, and she's a good mother to our kids.
I love him too.